This really is a great simple dish that goes with almost any protein, especially barbecue. Charro beans are a Mexican bean soup named after charros that are Mexican cowboys from ranches in northern Mexico. Now the recipe will vary with every kitchen. This is mine. I've made many times, and did I tell you it's super simple? The bonus recipe in this video, how to make refried beans from these charro beans, are at the end. So hang in there to the end. Well, here's what we're going to need for these charro beans. Star of the show, pinto beans. And this is about 1.5 cups, about half a pound of pinto beans that I soaked overnight, drained and rinsed. They're ready to go. You got some garlic smashed. I'll tell you all the amounts when I put them in the pan. About 1/2 jalapeno, ribs and seeds removed. Some spices that I'll tell you about when we get over to the pan. I have 1 cup of chicken stock and 1 cup of beef stock. A couple of strips of bacon chopped up, and 1 cup of diced onions. Simple ingredients. It's going to be really easy. So all the ingredients are listed below in the description. And while you're down there, please hit subscribe, like, and the bell buttons. We'd appreciate it. All right, let's get this show on the road. All you really have to do is add the ingredients, bring it up to a boil, and cook it. So let's do that. 1 cup of chicken stock, 1 cup of beef stock, 2 slices of bacon, thick slices, diced, 1 cup of diced onion, white or yellow, 1/2 jalapeno, seeded, ribs removed, 2 good-sized garlic cloves, peeled, smashed. Okay, 1/2 teaspoon of black pepper. You got a teaspoon of chili powder, a teaspoon of salt, 1/4 teaspoon of paprika, 1/2 teaspoon of cumin. In. Crank it up, high heat. The beans, soaked overnight, 1.5 cups, about 1/2 pound. Now here's where, depending on your pan, how much water you add, because you have to cover those beans. So this is another cup. Now we're going to cook this covered, so the water should not evaporate very much, but you need to keep an eye on it. Bring it to a boil. Give it another stir. Lower the heat low enough so it's just simmering, a good simmer. And by the way, keep in mind that there are 10 million kitchens around the world at least that make charro beans or even ranch beans. So if you want to put other spices in, it's up to you. Like elote, achiote, chipotle. Just experiment. So we got it going. We're going to turn it down a little more. Put the lid on. We're going to cook it for 2 to 3 hours. And make sure every 20 minutes or so you check it. Give it a stir, check the water. Okay, been about 2.5 hours. Oh no, maybe a little longer. And that's the consistency you want for charro beans, like a Mexican bean soup. Next, we're going to make refried beans. So, refried beans. In Spanish, they're called refritos. And according to the definition, all they are cooked beans that are fried or refried. What we're going to do is we're going to fry them in some sort of oil, which is traditional. Now you can use canola oil or olive oil or even butter, but I'm going to use the traditional ingredient for refried beans, lard, pork fat, manteca. You can use those other oils, they'll work just fine, but the flavor profile will not be the same. And to begin with, I'm using a small cast iron skillet, or you can use any heavy bottom skillet, that'll work, depending on how much you're making. You put it over a kind of medium heat. Once you get your skillet going over a kind of medium heat, we're going to throw in our fat, 2 tablespoons of fat. You can use bacon fat too, which works well, but just keep in mind it's going to be tasting a lot like bacon and very smoky flavor if that's what you want. Let the oil start to melt. Once the oil gets to where it's almost melted, now you're going to go to your charro beans. You're going to strain out a lot of the liquid with a slotted spoon. Some of the liquid is okay. Once you get it going in there, you can add more beans. You add more liquid as you get going too to keep them nice and creamy. With the back of your slotted spoon, start smashing. Now, if you're using a lot, if you're making a lot of refried beans, put it in a bigger pot and use a potato masher. Basically, refried beans is just that, they're fried beans. And the traditional recipe is just beans and fat. That's it. A little salt maybe. And you mash them and fry them to the consistency you want. You can leave them a little chunky, or you can make them as smooth and as unchunky as you want. Those, my friend, are refried beans. What you want to do right now, give it a little taste. See if it needs any seasoning. If your beans were seasoned the way you want them to be, you shouldn't have to add any, but maybe a little salt. Since I season my beans the way we like them, you don't need any. Serve them next to your favorite anything, especially Mexican food. Put a little queso fresco, a little grated cotija on it. Maybe a little white onions. There you have it. Refried beans. Full disclosure, the refried beans I'm saving for tomorrow when we have brisket tacos. I did make Mexican street corn off the cob, and I'll have the recipe for that down below as well. It's so good and it's so simple, charro beans. Hey, thanks for watching. Please hit subscribe. Take care.